Welcome to the PharmaSource podcast. In this episode, we speak to Christy Eatmon, Global SME Sterile Drug Product at Thermo Fisher Scientific. Christy talks about what their pharma services group offers to customers, what they'll be showcasing at CPHI Barcelona, and why she believes that home delivery of pre-filled syringes will be groundbreaking for patients in the years ahead. Christy, great to have you join us here today. To start with, could you introduce yourself, please, to listeners?
Sure. My name is Christy Eatmon, and I work for Thermo Fisher Scientific under the Pharma Services Group. And my role is really to support our sales team as their global subject matter expert. So my background is in manufacturing and formulation development, pretty much all for sterile injectables. So today our conversation will likely sort of revolve around the sterile injectable space because that's my expertise. So that's really my role, to support the sales team and support our customers, help provide them with solutions at any stage of development, all the way through commercialization.
Talking about the pharma service group at Thermo Fisher Scientific, could you just explain a bit more about what it is you do and what's unique about you, please?
Yeah, I think what makes Thermo Fisher Scientific unique, especially in the CDMO space, is that we can really help our customers. We can partner with them to provide end-to-end solutions. So we can take someone that is in preclinical development, for example, and kind of show them the pathway to first in human studies, phase 1 studies, and then in many cases continue on with them all the way until commercialization. So that sort of, I think most people would refer to it as one-stop shop. There's pros and cons to that, but I think especially for smaller biotechs, having a one-stop shop, a partner where they can rely on for everything, not just manufacturing, for development, for analytical method development, for regulatory support, really that's where we can come in and provide all those support systems from various groups, all while maintaining, good quality systems. And being part of such a big company really allows us to rely on a network of people that have, breadth and depth of experience. So when our customers come to a single group or a single site, it's not only that site that they can rely on for support. Really, we can reach out to the global team there if there's something that we just want to run by people. So we can reduce the risk, right, by having a global network. We can sometimes improve timelines by being able to use our buying power in some situations, and we can provide solutions that our customers don't have to work with so many different organizations to provide the same service, right? They can come to us and they can get, for example, their small molecule APIs made or their large molecule drug substance made. We can fill them into a vial or make them into a tablet. We can package them. We can distribute them, so they can really just rely on us for all the services rather than having kind of a variety of partners and having to deal with many people. So from a project management perspective, it's good. But, really our goal is to, our motto is to make the world cleaner, safer, healthier. And one way we can do that is to really integrate all these services together to provide that to our customers.
There's clearly some real benefits there of being able to tap into that large network of experts. Does that come with some complexity, though? If it's a small biotech, for example, who wants to work with you and have access to all of these different resources, how would it work?
Yeah, so let's just give an example. Say a small biotech came to us and they have a molecule and they want us to make that molecule. We'll just take the small molecule example. They want us to make that small molecule, develop an injectable dosage form, and get it to a first in human trial. So we actually have a program where we can assign a program manager over all those activities who keeps an eye on everything, make sure everything's happening. But we do have communication within the group too. So one site communicates to another on the timelines and on where they are. But really what would happen is we start off making the API. They communicate to the drug product team. Okay, we're ready. Maybe they make a pilot batch and we use that batch to do development work, right? To come up with a formulation or a process. And then those teams will work together to actually make the product. And then, of course, we have quality oversight and regulatory oversight at each site to make sure that we're doing things per, proper cGMPs, and then make sure that we have a safe and effective drug that gets out there. Once they make the drug product with us, we can ship it to our clinical team who can do the packaging, and then they can also distribute to wherever the clinics may be. We also have a team within PSG, the CRG group, that can actually do the execution of the clinical trial. So for a small biotech, it's really a nice feature that they can come and really not have to worry. I don't want to say take a hands-off approach, and our expertise to guide them in the right direction. And interestingly enough, we do work with all the big pharma companies, as you would expect, but the majority of our customers are actually small and emerging, or the small to medium-sized companies. So I know a lot of people feel like they might get lost in such a big organization, but it really is more personalized to the needs of that specific client or that specific program. And I think that's always sort of been the heart of our business, is to provide solutions for the small biotech. So for me, when I was working as a scientist, those were the most interesting programs, because we can help those customers the most, right? We can really guide them, and it makes you feel good about, how you're helping the customer and the patient.
Now, CPHI is coming up, and from what I hear, Thermo Fisher are going to be there in a big way. Lots going on at your stand. Could you tell us a bit more about what's going to be happening, please?
Sure. Yeah. As usual, we'll have, the ability to make several touch points with customers. We'll have meeting rooms, small and large, so we can meet with various customers. But one thing I'm excited about this year is that we're going to have an expert cafe. So that's a place inside the booth where attendees can come, they can ask questions of our experts. We'll have different experts assigned for different times. But we all know each other, so we can grab and pull other people into the conversation if they need to. So it's sort of a casual and maybe even fun way to get to know some of the attendees and understand what their problems are and how we can help. Of course, we need to keep it a little bit high level at something like that, but we'll be able to pull up our slide decks and kind of show how we can solve their problems. They can ask us questions. So I think that's going to be really interesting to be able to have those conversations that get the ball rolling in terms of how we can support, various colleagues and various companies. So
kind of like an Apple Genius Bar. Is that the idea?
Right. Something like that. But we're calling it Expert Cafe. So I encourage people to check our schedule and check with us if they'd like to meet with a specific, subject matter expert. They can inquire in the booth, and they'll let them know what time they can come back and have their questions answered. So
great. 2024 is coming up fast. I wonder if you could lay out one or couple of trends, perhaps, which you think are going to be really important for the year ahead that people should have front of mind.
We see AI in the press a lot, and I think that'll come on board, and pharmaceuticals will be impacted somehow by AI. Of course, personalized medicine has been on the front burner for many, many years, right? One thing I see that's maybe a bit more practical is that we have a lot of customers that are really intrigued and really interested in using sort of at-home delivery systems. So those are pre-filled syringes, which are filled with whatever drug products, so whatever medicines a person might need. These are these big drugs that we see in the news for, obesity and for, skin conditions, or, just a variety of different indications. So I think the rest of the industry sees this and they say, wow, this is really groundbreaking. We can impact more patients, and they'll have to go to clinics less and less because they can have at-home delivery. So I think the move from IV infusion products, where you have to go sit in a clinic, get an infusion over several hours, to something like a subcutaneous injection, I think we're seeing more and more of that, specifically in biologics, where I see a bunch of different companies working on how to concentrate these biologics, right? So right now we can get to sorry, I'm getting into the weeds a bit here, but we can get to maybe 150 or so mg per mil, right? But as we concentrate biologics, they get more viscous, they get more hard to deal with, they can aggregate, right? There's large molecules, right? So they can aggregate together, and that, of course, causes a problem. You need to inject a solution, right? What some companies are working on are ways to get those biologics even more and more concentrated, which reduces the injection volume, right? So once you reduce the injection volume, now you have the ability to potentially look at a pre-filled syringe. You can put that pre-filled syringe in some kind of device, like an auto injector, and send it to the pharmacy. Folks can pick it up and give the medication to themselves, right? So that's happening more and more. And I think we'll see more and more drugs that are provided in that way in the coming year and years ahead, as well as other things like wearable devices, just more and more at-home solutions for patients that have chronic diseases.
At-home delivery of biologics, presumably that would still have to be done in a temperature-controlled way. How are Thermo starting to prepare for that?
You're right. All those medicines are kept at 5 degrees C, right? Refrigerated conditions. I don't see that as much different from what diabetics have been doing for years and years, right? It's very common for people to get a vial of insulin and keep it in their fridge, right? Take it out, dose themselves. That's actually more complex than what we have here with pre-filled syringes and auto injectors, right? Now the patients don't even have to withdraw the right amount, right? They don't have to measure how many cc's they have to give themselves, right? They can just go to the pharmacy, pick up the syringes, right, that are pre-packaged, bring them home, put them in their fridge, take one out every day or every week, or however often the dosing is, and dose themselves. So I think that actually makes it less complex in a way for patients. It's more complex for those of us in the drug product supply, because now we don't have to only source a vial. We have in a stopper and an overseal, right? We have to source the syringe, which is the pre-filled syringe with the stopper, other things like needle safety devices or, other auto injectors, pens, things like that, and put them all together. So what we've done in Thermo Fisher Scientific is started expanding those capabilities to do the auto injector assembly piece, and to really try to keep up with the demand in the market. The demand is huge, right? So our goal is to try as best we can to keep up with that demand.
Christy, fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thanks so much, Luke. Nice to speak with you.
If you're going to CPHI, make sure to visit the Thermo Fisher Scientific Expert Cafe at stand 3K50. Finally, we're excited to tell you about Partner Match, which is a brand new service from us at PharmaSource. Partner Match is a new online meeting platform designed to be the most targeted, efficient, and sustainable way to connect with pre-approved partners in key areas such as APIs, packaging, supply chain, contract manufacturing, and CROs. We believe that by creating better, faster matches, Partner Match can directly contribute to accelerating the rollout of groundbreaking therapies. Get involved by heading to pharmasource.global/partnermatch. Thank you for listening.